Well, hello there, Tuberubers and Tuberettes alike. Welcome to you, far and near, high and low, every which way you go. Come on in, sit down for a few minutes, and take off your shoes if you like. I wouldn't mind. It's a Monday morning. It's Memorial Day of 2024, and I kind of have some mixed feelings about today. I'm violating all of my own rules, and remember, I informed you that I was going to go find some green areas. Well, I did go down by the Rio yesterday. It was just wonderful, just be down by the water, and the wind was moving the trees around, and big old cottonwoods. Boy, those cottonwoods were shedding the that fluffy stuff like crazy yesterday, and I'm thankful today that I don't think I have a much of a reaction to that. I am allergic to this and that, but cottonwood doesn't bother me much. And anyway, it was surprising to me how much of that stuff, that fluff, was floating around. Anyway, I uh, I just like being near the water, and there was a lot of families out there, and people splashing around in the river, and little kids run. I love watching little kids play in the yard. They had some nice well, like, not toys, what do you call those things? It's like swing sets and things that kids can crawl on, little uh, like a little maze or something for them. Anyway, the point being, it was a nice afternoon, but today I'm going to go work. I got a side job. That darn thing over there for that house, it turned out that the main is leaking in the front yard. Sam was good enough to dig it up for me. He shot me a photo, so I told him I'll head out today, and I got to go into Home Depot, and I hate going in that place. But at any rate, I think they're the only places to be open. Maybe Lowe's will be open. I don't know. But at any rate, Lowe's, by the way, now has gone cashier free. There are no cash register operator people at Lowe's anymore. So they have a person or two who stands around watching people try to check themselves out. Then the person comes over and checks them out because the person who's the customer can't figure the stupid machine out. Well, at any rate, a lot of people are savvy on how to use the machine, so I suppose it's a net gain for Lowe's. But I told the lady the last time I was there, she was the last cashier that I ever saw work. I said, I guess you guys are going away, and I said, I hope you don't lose your job. But the thing is it's a dark day. If there's a choice at a grocery or somewhere between a self checkout and one to actually talk to a human, every time I'll choose the one with the human. I, I'm not there to talk to a robot. I'm not there to be an employee of the store on the way out the door. And anyway, I just don't like it. So I thought maybe I'll run down to VI. They'll probably be open. They always are. And maybe get me a little bit of breakfast, and then head on over and try to get that thing done before, maybe before noon, I hope. It shouldn't be more than about a 2 hour job, we hope. But you just can never predict things. At least I can't. And so when you get into underground soldering, you got to be careful, very careful, because the uh, the patina, the solder underground, with it's not the same as rust, but the copper is deeply stained, I guess you'd say, and you've got to get it back to what's called mechanically clean. So you use sandcloth in there, and sandcloth or wire brushes and stuff. And so before I leave this morning, I think I had some stuff. I bought it to clean the terminal in this phone. This thing was showing slow charging for about a week and a half, and I thought, I need to go get another cord. Well, I didn't go get a cord. I went instead and got this stuff at the hardware. I got a little dabber and just twinkled a little bit around that probe where the thing plugs in on the bottom. Now, this is an Android. It's a Samsung something or other. Don't ask me the model number on this thing. But at any rate, I like Android. And the idea is that I cleaned up that probe, and boom, now it doesn't say slow charge. It hasn't done that in over 2 months now. So I was going to take some of that copper scrub stuff, or whatever you call it, and see if I can get that copper to brighten up a little bit easier, because I've had problems in the past, and if you do a solder joint underground and it fails, I mean it leaks, fixing that rascal is a real booger. Because now you got to evacuate the water, because you can't get it to heat, because the torch won't overcome the water and drive the steam out fast enough. So, I mean, it gets crazy. So you want to do a solder job one time and you want it to be a good one. And so that's the goal for today. And then everything else being rebuilt in PVC ought to be mm, fairly evident. I just need pieces, parts I don't have. And I'm going to look under the trailer. I don't know. I might have some PVC pipe down there. Who knows what's down there? And so at any rate, I'm violating my own rules. I told y'all, well, like, get out around the green stuff. Well, I did to some degree, but uh, you need to find a way to rest. This feels like a sad Memorial Day to me. How weird is that? Sad Memorial Day. Memorial Day, people don't even know what it's about. It's about remembering the war dead. Those men, largely, almost exclusively, who died to change history and therefore provide us, the Americans, with something like a system of freedom and independence and not being ruled by tyrants. Now, that's not a message that's going to be real popular right now, is it? There's not going to be a big, demand for that, is there? Why is that? The people are being brainwashed. They're being brainwashed into that only the government can help you. Only the government knows everything. Only, shut up. They haven't managed anything ever properly. Not one item, ever. And now they want to manage everything? And, but let's improve upon that. Forget about a mere national government controlling everything. We need an international government, right? And that's what they're building with this so-called treaty, and it's coming up on the end of May. It hasn't stopped. I think if it had stopped, it would have been world news. That means it's going through. Now, this is a kind of a treaty that sounds like this. Well, I gave you an option. Did you want to vote on it? What? You didn't say anything? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. If you don't actively vote no and hell no, that counts as a yes. And so we're looking at a whole different world here. This may be the last Memorial Day ever. I mean, the real one, with an American dead who died to save what was called the Republic at the time. This concept is largely gone by the wayside now. People don't even know about the Republic called America. They keep thinking it was a democracy. They've been fed altered memories, I guess, changing the past. And so, at any rate, it's kind of a hard feeling for me this year, because it's like I don't know if anyone will ever have a Memorial Day again for the American soldier, sailor, marine, airman who died, who laid down their life for their brothers on the field, under the orders of their command, but mainly to see to it that the families would be safe back home. We sent our soldiers over there to fight, and so they didn't have to fight here. But all that's changing now. Now they've imported a UN army, and you might not have heard about this. There is a UN army on the ground now in the US of A. Many of them are Chinese. This army is going to emerge in due time when shall we say, a social revolution occurs of some ilk, and the UN is called in to bring peace. Now, the peacekeepers of the UN are probably one of the most notorious groups of barbaric pirates. They're disgusting. They haven't got the manners of a pile of, never mind. But the point is that in Africa, as an example, they were only responsible, the army was only responsible for like 60,000 rapes of women and children. And these are the forces they're counting on? Who would want to remember those a-holes? And good God, if they died, everybody'd be dancing around. You see what I mean? Memorial Day is going away, and they're bringing on its new aspect. Hard to get excited about that. So keep your eyes open. The good Lord, he'll heal you. He'll teach you. He'll renew your heart. But the renewal is about being near Him and hearing Him in a way from the center. I don't know how to describe it, but let me just say it this way. We've been taught to think that prayer is a one-way affair. comes out of my mouth, goes into the air, and disappears. But he communicates with us. That was the whole point of the thing. That was the whole point of it all along. And why do you think he gave us his name? To call upon him by, in prayer. That's what this was about, in case nobody informed you. And so the Protestants, and especially the Presbyterians that I tell you, after I leave church lots of times, I got to go deprogram. There's something about the preaching over there, it's grinding my gears all wrong. I want to hear about Jesus. I want to hear about my King. I want to hear about the Savior. Our testimony is of him. And it's just, I keep getting derailed into these weird, when I'm over there sometimes. But it isn't all the time. So I don't know. Maybe I need to say something over there and speak up. But the point is, when we're looking at a Memorial Day that might be, say the last one, I don't know. Our world is changing so darn fast, and when we realize that the generated feeling that's common to almost everyone is everyone feels alone. Everyone feels alienated and cut off. There is no group. There is not even the family. There is no haven of other humans of like-minded with whom we can bond and hang together. Everyone is just unconnected. And I think it's built that way. But in that, even however bad that is, in prayer, we call to him, and he hears, and he lets us know that he hears. You're not alone. You've never been alone, and you never will be. He cares. He's real. And so the idea is, if you want to have a Memorial Day that means something, make it this way. There was one who died, one man, one hero, one warrior extraordinaire who laid down his life before his Father to defend his children. Imagine the courage, imagine the boldness of Jesus of Nazareth. He addresses the Father in person and says, if you have a problem with these, then you have a problem with me. Let's rock. It's the story, remember the one in Genesis. Jacob did what? He wrestled with an angel all night. Wrestled with an angel all night. And then the angel threw his hip out of socket. But somehow, Jacob walked out, really kind of, I guess you'd call it a draw. How weird is that? A supernatural angel versus Jacob in who knows how many round fight, and it's called a draw? What is that? It's a picture of the gospel. Jesus goes to bat for you and me. He stands in front of the freight train of wrath, and he absorbs that blow on behalf of his people. It's the news that's good. It's the news that's real. That means that same king, he has come. Therefore, his kingdom has arrived. We're not waiting for resurrection. We're experiencing it now. And I can no longer die. This is the Christian confession. Now, they can kill my body. Yes, of course. But they can't kill me. He's brought us alive. He makes all the difference. So make that part of your Memorial Day, I hope, and remember the one who died and then later successfully just kicked the door down to the tube. Get out of my way. I ain't walking around you. You're moving. And he's the best. He woke up from the dead, and he's forever alive. And he lives in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts. It's real. Come on in. There is really no other way. This is the path of sanity, by the way. In case they didn't mention that part either.